Hi, my name is Steve Ababio. I'm a travel and adventure photographer and filmmaker, and this is Chasing Waterfalls. This project is one I've thought of doing for many years, but it finally actually got off the ground in 2021, almost by accident. And I'm here with Gina Arthur, destination event planner, to take you chasing waterfalls. So, on a whim, I managed to convince a group of my friends to do a 3-fall marathon trip one Saturday. We hit Boti, Accra, and Asinima Falls. It was still raining. The falls showed their full majesty, and it was a trip thoroughly enjoyed by all. For me, having been to these falls previously at different times, when the flow was not as much, seeing them so turgid and powerful was my signal that the time to do this was right then, before the rains tapered off and the water levels dropped. It's always bothered me that we seem not to do anywhere near as much as we can with our incredible locations, so I contacted Gina and asked if she would be interested in embarking on this journey with me to bring to bear an event planner's eye and perspective.
Hello there. When Steve approached me with his idea, it brought for me a lot of things into perspective, especially considering the times we were in when that request came. I was also excited at the chance to build a unique portfolio of locations to create highly specialized niche events for a fitness, travel, and adventure clientele. So we planned it all out into a series of journeys and began to hit the road. What we show you in this video is a small fraction of what we encountered. Much of our time chasing waterfalls was spent hiking, climbing, descending, and generally conserving strength to capture these falls we had never been to before, and make it back to base camp in good time and in good shape.
God bless our homeland, Ghana. Bless our homeland, Ghana. Make our nation great and strong.
The people we met on these journeys were so friendly, so welcoming, so hospitable. They made me proud to be Ghanaian.
God bless our homeland, Ghana. Make our nation great and strong.
We got a visual summary of their daily lives as we enjoyed trekking through their cocoa and coffee plantations, collecting assorted ripe fruits from the forest floor, carpeted with falling leaves, and drinking sparkling fresh water from mountain springs, and soaking our weary bodies in pools in the forest, formed where rocks interrupt the rushing streams.
The cause of freedom and of fire. Boa, boa, boa. Boa me na nenya me. Boa me. Boa me.
The reason we're doing the Chasing Waterfalls project is multi-faceted, I would say. We're doing it because waterfalls are a very interesting natural geological feature to me. I love water. I love everything that has to do with water. So rivers, lakes, waterfalls, these things are things that excite me. That's one. The second reason is also that most of our waterfalls are either in or near to our rural communities. And for the most part, some of those rural communities that have some of the most beautiful features also tend to be some of the most deprived economically. So the vision for this is to showcase the features that will get people going to visit them. Because I believe that if you leave where you live and you travel to visit a waterfall, you enrich the local community. If it, depending on the distance, if you stay there, you pay for accommodation, you buy food, and so you quite practically create employment in some of these communities. So that's the reason why I'm doing this. I believe that as a Ghanaian and as an African, we should do more to explore our own community. The journeys were a great revelation, as each region presented very different and distinct geographical features. The Volta region landscapes are dramatic. The craggy mountains with steep ascents and deep ravines provided some of the most physically challenging falls to explore. Given that there are 11 waterfalls here that we feature, along with Ghana's highest human settlement, a unique monkey sanctuary, and the iconic Dakluto, you have your pick of sites to experience. But that exploration is also particularly exhilarating once overcome, because you get that sense of a primal challenge that nature threw at you, which you met, wrestled with, and overcame.
The Eastern region is also home to a good number of falls. We featured just 11 of them in the guide, along with Bunsu Eco Park, Abetifi Stone Age Park, and Buruku Rock. This region also delivers a wide range of experiences over varying terrain with different levels of ease and accessibility. The Akuapem Range alone hosts the majority that we feature. The Kwewu Range also has its quota, but we barely scratched the surface there. There are many more to be discovered just from looking at the terrain. Exploring the Ashanti and Bunu took us through Agobo and Kumewu, where we were met with breathtaking vistas of highland plateaus and rolling hills clad in such lush greenery, it's hard to describe. The falls we encountered here were beautiful and quite easy to get to. We saw 6 waterfalls here, 2 lakes, and a unique rock fortress that frankly is better experienced than described.
Chasing waterfalls has been about challenging ourselves with an aspect of our country that hasn't received much deliberate attention and focus. And for our part, create and present a visual journey to share, educate, encourage, and challenge others to do the same. Some of the interesting places for me in the Eastern region would be Butuase Falls, for example. Butuase Falls is in Kwewu, and it's almost literally smack in the middle of the town. You get to this place and then you walk down into what looks like a crevice, and the waterfall is there. There's the main falls, and it goes into a stream, and then it descends into a series of splash pools where people come from the town to go and just, splash about, have fun, enjoy the water. So Butuase Falls is lovely, it's beautiful, and the fact that it's inside this cavern, for me makes it very interesting. Tini Falls, also in the Kwewu district, it literally falls down the face of the mountain, falls down a cliff, and then forms this bowl. It's like a bowl-like shape that it falls into with a pool at the bottom. That's also another very interesting feature. You have to walk through the forest to get there. They have an interesting visitor center. I hope now the visitor center is manned, but sometimes you can get there and there's nobody there. But if you're feeling adventurous, you can still make the hike to go to the falls. Also of really great interest in the eastern region are Aku Falls, near the town of Akumesu, and Osubeng Falls. Osubeng is near the town of Osubeng. They're both very different in their ways, but they're also significant because one of them is like broad and wide and has this very interesting, you can actually go behind the falls, and has these rock features, trees standing in it, and then it has this colony of bats, which as soon as you get there and they take off, it's like a cloud flying all around the falls. There's something about it. There's something really, really interesting about Aku Falls. Osubing is much higher than Aku Falls. The fall is the fall from the top is different, and it falls down on the rock formation that it falls onto. Kind of looks like a series of steps, so you can stand on them and stand under the falls. There's a pool that you can bathe in just in front of that arrangement, and it's really easy access from the road. It's just that the road to get there is in a completely different shape. I mean, I wish it was a good road, but it's not. It's a difficult road to use, but the falls make it all worth it. And one of the last stops we made in the Volta region was the town of Ashanti Puerta, which is close to the Ghana-Togo border. And we went to Ashanti Puerta because we knew that we would find Chigame Falls over there. Chigame Falls was another interesting one to get to because you go, you park your car in town. If you want, you can walk, but what we did to cut our journey short was to get on motorbikes, which took us through the bush, through the farms, all the way to where the descent begins, and then the motorbikes get parked, we hop off, and then we begin the hike downwards to the falls. I think it's about a 30-minute hike to get to the falls themselves on foot. And once you get there, it's a different sight. The shape of the falls are different. It's like a twin falls. You have one on the left and one on the right. The one on the left is coming straight, and the one on the right has this curvature to it, which, you know, is really, really pretty. But the area, and of course, there's a pool underneath it, but you have like a bamboo growth or a bamboo grotto that is next to the beach. So you have this whole area where it's almost like an event area where you have the bamboo trees and the leaves have fallen on the ground and carpeted the ground, made it all soft and smooth. And then the river, the stream passing on the side of it. It's hard to describe. So, of course, as usual, we'll let the visuals do the job. Ghana has so much to offer, so much beauty, so much potential, so much talent. We can't afford not to harness what we have to improve on who we can be. Chasing Waterfalls does the work of showing you the locations and providing a guide to help you get there. What we are really hoping happens is that when you do go to see them, you also look for opportunities to invest in the communities, establish businesses, make a positive impact. In summary, Ghana is beautiful, Ghana is worth exploring, Ghanaians are actually lovely people. Let's make more of an effort to keep our country clean. Business opportunities in the tourism space do exist in our rural communities. We can find them, we can use them. This way we are making money, we are creating employment, we are protecting and profiting from our environment. We then get to live better, richer, and more fulfilled lives in a virtuous cycle. Ghana is beautiful. Go see it.